Me at my wife's funeral. Me at ONMP4 1K subscriber special. Alright, here's the dealio, pallies, alright? So I already had a run through this video, rehearsal one could say, also known as I recorded it already and then forgot to. I am on edge, I am angry, I am scared, and I was about to go to bed and I was like, no, I'm not gonna let this failed recording get me down, and so I'm back here at the tier list. First off, I just want to say thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. This has been a dream of mine. What am I supposed to say? Thank you for funny internet number. It really does mean a lot, and it's really cool because now I'm famous. And so I thought, as a 1,000 subscriber special, I would make the worst tier list, just the worst tier list ever. I would just compile a bunch of things and just rank them, and they're completely unrelated, and it's great. Now, before we get into the video, if you enjoy this at any point, please subscribe. Yeah. Subscribe, hit the like button, and make sure ring the bell because YouTube isn't going to recommend my videos to you just because you're subscribed. Also, before I forget, thank you Mango Limes for editing this video completely for free, I think. Anyway, first up on the list, we have the United States Congress. Solid C, I'd say, pretty average. I have no idea what's going on in Congress right now, but if I had to guess, it would be a filibuster. Could be great, could be awful, I don't know, but they haven't done anything for me in the past 30 minutes, so get out of here. Next up, we have the sun, and I'm gonna have to put this at a solid B tier. It's just ruining my life. Alright? My life has been ruined by the sun. Oh wait, no, I think I'm thinking about my son. I'll give the sun an A tier. Next up, we've got Minnesota, which I think is a solid D tier. The state of Minnesota is mediocre at best. I don't know,
I love the grand state of Minnesota and everything it stands for.
Next up, we have the old McDonald's in New York City, the flashy one, the really pretty one from like the 1950s or whatever. We're putting this in S tier. This is a really cool piece of history, and I really enjoyed it, and it was just pretty just seeing it in Times Square, wherever it was. And that closed down last year during quarantine to make way for this, which is the new McDonald's, which is awesome. Look at it, it's like a box and it's made out of glass like every other building, so we're putting that in F because they ruined it. Next up, we've got this, which is the icon for this tier list, a solid E tier. It's just awful. I made it that way. Next up, we've got Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of England, and honestly, I don't know where to put him because I don't know the public's opinion on him, but I made an image of him and it said he was Hillary Clinton, and I thought that was really funny, so he's going in S tier for me. Next up, we've got the color red, just another solid S tier from me. I love the color red. Next up, we got Cars 2, another solid S tier. These are just a bunch of bangers right in a row. You know, McDonald's, Boris Johnson, the color red, and Cars 2. Cars 2 is a cinematic masterpiece, best movie ever made. Next up, we've got the freedom of the press, another S tier. I'd actually put that above every other one of these up here already. The freedom of the press is pretty sick, and I can say that because look at what's happening in countries that don't have it, baby. Speaking of the press, next up we've got Elvis Presley. He's gonna go in B tier. Next up, we have the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. You know, it's a high B tier. I'd like a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Pickles. Next up, it looks like we have apples. I'd give apples a solid C tier. They're not like an all-around, you know, I would eat this at any time kind of fruit, but they are pretty decent. And then honestly, the oranges, I don't know what to do with. I just can't compare apples and oranges. Alright, next up we've got this baby, and this is meant to represent all babies, and I'm gonna give him a C tier because babies range from need to be pushed over to that's a baby. So honestly, C tier just seems like it works for me. And now I've got this banana, which looks suspiciously like that baby, and I'm gonna put that in B tier. I'd eat bananas in more instances than that baby. And now that we've done bananas, of course we have to do apes. And I'd give apes a solid S tier, honestly above the freedom of the press. Next up, we've got the concept of money. And you know, I was thinking about this and I realized that there are two kinds of people on the internet. Alright, you've got communists and then there are cryptocurrency investors. And I realized that they both hate money. So, to appease everyone in my audience and make you all feel good, we're putting in an E tier. It's not as bad as that stupid McDonald's, but it's pretty bad. Next up, we've got the Nile River. Solid river. B tier, because it's solid. Next up, we've got the War of 1812. Pretty bad, but it's not as bad as this tier list. This tier list has taken so many more lives. Alright, and next up, we've got you, the viewer, whoever you are, and honestly, you're an S tier. You're not as good as apes. Alright, let's be honest here. You're not as good as apes, but you're an S tier. And I know that you might not believe that right now. Alright? I feel like everyone has self-doubts and self-deprecations that they can't get over. And it's hard to think of yourself as S tier. But look, alright? You're doing your best, and we appreciate you for being here. So yeah, you're a pretty solid S tier, better than freedom of the press, but not as good as apes. Next up I have myself, pretty S tier. This guy's a YouTube channel. I'm better than Boris Johnson. I would be a better prime minister. I got a tie on, man. I look sick. You should like and subscribe. Facts. This is facts. This is true facts. 100 emoji. Put a 100 emoji on the screen. Bruh sound effect too. And then spin it around a lot. And then make me bulge out. Make me look all funny. And then make me go cuckoo crazy. Alright, next up we got the Toolman method. A method for making an argument. Learned about this in English class. I'll give it a B tier, you know? It's kind of fun, but not something I do outside of school, you know? Like cocaine or yo mom. Alright, next up we've got Amazon, and Amazon is very low on this list. It's actually no it isn't. I hate that McDonald's. This stupid ass McDonald's. Next up we got Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which we're gonna put him up here. He's pretty good. I'd say he's pretty decent. He's a pretty good guy. And look at him, he's just so happy. I'd love to be like that guy when I grow up. You know, just like that. And of course, now that we've ranked The Rock, the real one, we have to rank the imposter. Among Us. Shut up. Honestly, worse than the War of 1812, I've got to say. It's just deplorable what this Rock is doing. Alright, next up we've got God. Pretty S tier, I'd say. I'd say he's a little bit better than Jeff Bezos. God is pretty good. I'd say he's pretty cool. I liked it when he flooded the earth and gave us all water for the first time. That was cool. And then next up we've got Jesus Christ. We're gonna put Jesus Christ in A tier because he's kind of like God, but he's like a little bit worse because he's his son. You know, it's kind of like how Plato is worse than Aristotle. I don't think that's true. Next up we got this cow, and now if you're wondering why it's this cow in particular, it's you know, it's a pretty good cow. I'm gonna give this cow an A tier. I like how he's sitting. I like the cut of his jib. Alright, next up it looks like we have the Democratic Party, and I don't know why I put this one on. Like, I put this one on knowing I couldn't rank it, because if I did, I would lose some subscribers. Alright, next up we've got Premiere Pro. It's a little bit worse than the War of 1812, I will have to say. Here are my reasons. Here are my official reasons, alright? It looks dumb. 2, costs money. 3, not optimized. 4, you can work with other people. All bad things. And so yeah, that's my official opinion on Premiere Pro. And now next up we got DaVinci Resolve. Milk. Alright, next up we got those fake PNGs, and honestly, I think this might be the worst. I forgot about the McDonald's. It's not the worst thing on this tier list. Worse than everything else, but the stupid McDonald's. Next up, it looks like we have Harvard University. Solid D tier for me, because it's a lame school, and school's for nerds. Alright, next up we've got gerrymandering. This is going in E tier because I think it's bad, and also makes these stupid districts, and I hate it. I hate gerrymandering. Alright, next up we've got a series of dogs. This dog's pretty good. I'll give him A tier. He looks pretty happy. This dog's pretty good too. He looks happy as well. This dog got no teeth. That's funny. S tier. S tier dog. S tier dog. Not as good as Cars 2 though. This dog looks very, very out of it. Honestly, should take care of your dog more. And this dog reminds me of the paranormal. We're putting him with Paranormal Activity right above the Republic. That makes sense. Next up, we've got Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. We're putting this in D tier. I am aware that that is the most controversial thing I will say this whole video, but screw you. Okay, it's just Harry Potter, but for nerds. Next up, we've got the concept of robbery, and I think robbery is just great. S tier, easily S tier. Above Boris Johnson, below me though. I would, actually above me. Robbing is too good for me. Next up, it looks like we have France, and to appease the internet, I'll put it in E tier. And then we got this lamp. I actually got this lamp. I got the, whoa. Whoa, it's that lamp. It's that lamp that we're seeing on the screen. It's right there. That's a good ass lamp. And then as the last thing to put on this tier list, I have the subscribe button, which is obviously an S tier, but the next segment of this video will be ranking every single one of my subscribers by how much I like them. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe. About a week ago, I posted this community post. I had a subscriber milestone, so I have no choice but to do a Q&A. He's right. Please comment with a question, even if it's totally nonsensical. I will be responding to all questions with absolute sincerity. I am going to keep my word. I also attached this image of the rare McDonald's chicken nugget rock. Alright, the first question we got is from Julian Gecko Gamer. They ask, when is gonna happen? And I'm gonna say in 3 years, 4 months, 15 days and 6 hours, alright, from the time of upload. Next up, we've got a question from this guy, Rob. Okay, but for real, is it Owen or Oven? We need to know. So the answer is Owen. It's Owen. My name is Owen. I should check my birth certificate. I actually don't know. And then he has another question. How does the golden monkey feel about being in your videos? Let me ask him real quick. How do you feel about being in my videos? He said that if he didn't like it, I wouldn't be on this earth. Alright, next up we got a question from Wendo. What's your opinion on burger? Here's my opinion, alright? That's my opinion. That's my official statement on burger. And the last question we've got is from Choco Plays. Do you embrace the fact that you are just one in billions of people and are irrelevant to the majority, therefore meaning not many people will notice if you die? I'm approaching rapidly, be ready. I think the fact that we are temporary and that our death actually means something, that we won't be around anymore, is a very interesting concept, especially with your suggested irrelevancy. It makes a very interesting dynamic to human life, right? It makes it worth something. And honestly, yes, I do embrace that fact because it gives me a reason to live. You know, it gives me a reason to change things because sure, it's all temporary and sure, it's all going to just end one day and it's all going to be somewhat for nothing. But if it wasn't going to end, then there would be no reason to do anything good. And then the richest man on earth says, would you buy an Among Us chicken nugget for $100 billion? No. Anyway, thank you all so much for subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, then hit the subscribe button, shoot the like button, and ring the bell button with your nose to get 100 free wishes, 100 free Arby's gift card. Want to join my free gift card giveaway?